Hello, this is Old School 76, back live from Studio 76. I was going to record that video again from One Buck Place, but I had a lot of people that were interrupting the video yesterday. So it's in some ways it's great. There's a lot of fan excitement, which is nice to see here in Tampa Bay. As a fan, we haven't had that. We've had some apathy, some disappointment, some sadness, some anger. All these things have been very real. And at training camp now, there's a lot of excitement. So day 2, we got a full practice in. As you've read some of the great reports coming out of some of the other media outlets, we didn't have any problem with weather. It was hot. Don't mistake it. It was very hot out there, but the guys got in an entire practice, and we got a chance to see some more of what these young guys and some of these free agents will provide. The layout of practice was very similar to what I believe the first day was going to be. So there's not a lot of excitement, I don't think, though I did see some reports from some outlets on the one-on-one battles of the offensive line and defensive line, which is an area I tend to usually like. I did not get a chance to see that, so I would encourage you to read those reports. I believe Pew Report had some great reports on that as well. I was watching the skill positions. I also wanted to go look at the tight ends again to see if there was improvement from day 1. There wasn't any marked improvement, but I think that's going to be coming over time as those tight ends work with the coaching staff and learn about how to be able to be effective blockers. One thing we did see a lot more of was some actual 11-on-11 drills, and that was exciting. You got a chance to see some of these skill guys out in space. During the install phase, we saw a number of plays, probably in the order of 4 or 5, that were being put in, run from either side of the formation on the offensive side. Many of them were short routes. They were comebacks. They were not necessarily a bubble screen, but they were definitely quick hit plays. And they were working on the intricacies and the particulars of how those plays are going to get executed. And then when they rolled into 11-on-11, you got to see those against opposition. And for people to go to training camp regularly, you'll realize that this is part of the process, understanding how they walk first and then they run. I made a number of errors on Twitter yesterday because I'm not as familiar with the rosters as I should be, which will be fixed by today, and I'm used to seeing certain numbers. Verner, one of our free agent acquisitions people have been wondering about, had a great camp yesterday. He is instinctive, but then again, the defense at this phase, if they pay attention, they kind of understand what the offense is trying to run. And you can, when I coach, I always tell my defensive guys that they're cheating. If they know the play and they're jumping the play, they're really not helping themselves. I don't know that Verner was doing that. He definitely seems to be instinctual and very fast to break on the ball. Quarterback play yesterday was up and down. And when I talk about quarterback play, I'm going to focus mostly on Glennon and McCown. No disrespect to the other quarterbacks on the roster, but those are the two that our fans are going to be most interested in. I was sitting with Fish from Buck's Brief podcast talking about some things I noticed in differences between McCown and Glennon with release and everything. But when it came down to it, I think both players had about a similar day yesterday. I think that McCown certainly looks much better in general. He looks like a vet, and I tweeted out yesterday, he effortlessly scans the field and looks guys off, and that is very nice to see. It's something we have not had in Tampa in a long time, and it will help us in this offense and in any offense, to be honest. He did make a mistake and get picked yesterday. I think there were actually a couple of picks, but the one that I was sitting there watching was a shocker. I think some people, he overthrew a route, got picked off by Goldston, I believe, came back and hit a beautiful long pass to Vincent Jackson. Mike had a good practice as well, but when I say good, I heard a lot of excitement about the accuracy and the lack of drop balls. I think that they were reporting they completed 80 to 85% of the passes. That was not yesterday. Things started out early. They did some one-on-one drills with the receivers on defenders, and it got the crowd kind of pumped up. There were a couple of really good catches. Safarian Jenkins had a great one over in the corner. And then the wheels kind of came off. We had a lot of drops. And I don't know if that was fatigue. I don't know if it was sweat, because it was sweltering out there. And it's not a cautionary tale, mind you, but it was sloppy. And I'm looking to see it a little bit better today. Now, today is an important practice. Today's our first padded practice. And Lovie Smith, as I mentioned in the first vlog, said that his job was to make sure that the contact was light in these early practices. And then when it came to padded practice, it was real. So we'll get to see what these guys can actually do when they're banging heads today. So I will try and get another video up for you guys after today's practice. I appreciate you following us. As far as key people to watch for today, we're going to see what the defensive line can do against this offensive line. The offensive line does look mobile, and there's a lot of stretch plays and full flow action that they're going against. If we're actually going to run options, then we're going to have to see some options off of that. They did not run options off of it yesterday that I saw. It was all straight play. But that's certainly how you set up sort of those read option kind of plays. And I don't mean the way Kaepernick runs them, but something to keep the defense honest. Anyway, thanks again for following us. Hit us at @WhatTheBuck on Twitter, and we'll see you for the next video.